Hey everybody, welcome to Crack Pack Tuesday, number 128 on the Mana League. I'm John as always, and we've got ourselves another pack of Ixalan. We're going to crack it open, see what's inside it, and see what we would take pack one, pick one if this was a draft. Up first, we have Legion's Judgment. Legion's Judgment is 2 and a white for a sorcery, destroy target creature with power 4 or greater. It's fine. I'm not a huge fan of first picking it ever, really, and I'm not even always going to main deck it. It's an amazing sideboard card for sure. You're up against dinosaurs, get this in there. Even if you're up against merfolk, you can probably get this in there. But then you're up against vampires, and this does jack squat all. Yeah, nowhere near a first pick for me. I don't think the pack would have to be horrible, and I have hopes for this pack. I have hopes and dreams, so Legion's Judgment out. Skittering Heartstopper is up next. A single black mana for a creature insect. It's a 1/2. Pay a black, gets Death Touch till end of turn. I love Skittering Heartstoppers. I would put them in basically every single black deck I ever play. They're a 1-drop. They can be aggressive if they need to be and get in for a damage or two, and then they just hold the ground really well. Nowhere near a first pick, however. Up next is Fathom Fleet Firebrand, 1 and a red for a 2/2 human pirate. It's got expensive fire breathing, 1 and a red to get +1/+0 till end of turn. It's good. 2-drops are really good in this format. You need to get your 2-drops. So much so that if this pack was the worst pack I ever saw, like out of the 3 cards we've seen so far, I think I take the Fathom Fleet Firebrand first pick. That being said, let's hope this pack is a little bit better. Skyblade of the Legion is another 2-drop, a 2-drop that's relatively important for your vampire decks. It's Vampire Soldier, it's a 1/3 with flying. Kind of weak overall, but with vampire synergy as it gets there with Mark of the Vampire on it. It's suddenly a 3/5 lifelink flyer, which is really good. Yeah, you want Skyblade of Legions, but you're probably not first picking them, whereas you might, if you were really having a bad pack, you might pick the Firebrand. I don't think you ever pick the Skyblade. Up next is Storm Sculptor. Storm Sculptor is 3 and a blue for a creature merfolk wizard. It's a 3/2 that can't be blocked. When it enters the battlefield, you must return a creature you control to its owner's hand. I like this more in pirates than I do in merfolk, because you can bounce all the raid trigger creatures. You can bounce all the pirates that do stuff when they enter the battlefield. Sure, you could bounce an Explorer merfolk or a Vine Shaper Mystic or something, but it doesn't feel quite as good as bouncing the pirates. The Unblockable is cool, but this thing has just felt a little bit behind where I want it to be. It feels really slow because you are losing some tempo by bouncing something unless you're getting a really good ability by recasting it. So Storm Sculptor, not a first pick, sometimes doesn't make the cut in merfolk, often makes the cut in pirates. Up next is Blossom Dryad. Blossom Dryad is 2 and a green for a creature dryad. It's a 2/2 tap on tap target land. It's fine ramp, just like New Horizons if you're in big dinosaurs or something, or you're splashing, here you go, here's your way to do it, but it's nowhere near a first pick. What is near a first pick is Contract Killing. Contract Killing is unconditional removal. 3 black for a sorcery, kill a creature, and you get 2 treasure tokens out of it. I really like Contract Killing. I'd first pick this card all day, every day. Up next is Blinding Fog. Blinding Fog is 2 and a green for an instant. Prevent all combat damage will be dealt to creatures this turn. Creatures you control gain hexproof until end of turn. I lost a game where an opponent played Blinding Fog on me. And yes, it felt bad. And no, it was not correct for them to play Blinding Fog. Bad cards are bad. Don't play them. Paladin of the Bloodstained is up next. 3 and a white for a creature vampire knight. It's a 3/2 when it comes to play. Create a 1/1 white vampire creature token with lifelink. It's fine. You'll pretty happily play this in your vampire decks, and you'd pretty unhappily first pick it. So out of the picture it goes. Gilded Sentinel is our last common. Gilded Sentinel is 4 generic mana for a 3/3 artifact creature golem. If you're desperate for artifacts, and that probably means that you're playing Desperate Castaways, then maybe you play a Gilded Sentinel, but you still really don't want to. This is a card that you kind of screwed up your draft a little bit and you happen to have this to play, but otherwise never playing it, never first picking it. Our first uncommon is a never pick, never play card. 1 generic mana for an artifact. When Sentinel Totem enters the battlefield, scry 1, tap it, exile all cards from all graveyards. There is really no relevant reason to ever really play this. Constructed card, sure. Limited card, no. Our next uncommon is Sky Terror. Sky Terror is red-white for a creature dinosaur. It's a 2/2 flying menace. There are a lot of gold cards that I would very happily first pick. Sky Terror is not quite there. I have first picked it, and it did feel kind of bad to be picking a 2/2 Flying Menace first pick. You know, I'd first pick a Shapers of Nature, probably. I'd first pick several other gold cards for that matter, but not really Sky Terror, and certainly not up against Contract Killing. I would pick it relatively highly as soon as I know I'm red-white, but the first pick slot is not where I want it to be. Dark Nourishment is our next uncommon, a first pickable card as well. 4 and a black for an instant. Dark Nourishment deals 3 damage to target creature or player. You gain 3 life. Yeah, I like Dark Nourishment quite a bit. There was a while where people were really down on it, and it was going like second last pick, and that was wrong. But, you know, I would first pick this in several packs. I would not, however, first pick it against a Contract Killing. 5 mana kill a creature or 5 mana maybe not kill a creature. I'll go for 5 mana kill a creature. Our final card, our rare, is Sword Point Diplomacy. Sword Point Diplomacy is 2 and a black for a sorcery. Reveal the top 3 cards of your library. For each of those cards, put that card into your hand unless any opponent pays 3 life. Then exile the rest. No. Sword Point Diplomacy is not good. It's a Punisher card, meaning that it makes your opponent choose the worst thing for you, and that is not how you win games of Magic. Yeah, you can imagine that time where your opponent's at 9 and they pay 9 life. Except that's not gonna happen. And realistically, you're gonna draw a land or 2 and your opponent doesn't care if you draw them. This card's just not worth it. If you're in a hyper aggro deck where they just can't afford to pay any life, then why not play another creature instead of playing this? Yeah, I don't like Sword Point Diplomacy. I'm never gonna play it. I'm never gonna pick it, and certainly not first pick. So this seems like an easy Contract Killing. You could make an argument for Dark Nourishment, but I think Contract Killing is just like absolutely better. Maybe an argument for Sky Terror, but I don't think so. Let me know what you would have taken. Would it have been the Contract Killing? Would it have been the Diplomacy, the Terror, the Nourishment? Let me know in the comments down below. As always, if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, you can find me on Twitter at @TheManaLeak. That's L-E-E-K, like the vegetable, not the card. You can also find me at Facebook.com/TheManaLeak, Twitch.tv/TheManaLeak, and Patreon.com/TheManaLeak. If you do like the content, click that thumbs up button. If you haven't already and you do want to see more videos, click subscribe so you can keep up to date. And if you do have questions, comments, or suggestions, let me know. Otherwise, see y'all next time.